Hello to all our wonderful viewers. Over the past several days, the entire world has been abuzz with discussions about one and the same explosive piece of news that has spread across the internet and social media. It concerns a fateful decision regarding the Harry Potter universe and the upcoming HBO series of the same name. And as it turns out, at the heart of the debate is one of the franchise's most iconic characters. Recently, it became official that the British actor known as Papa As Edu, only 4 years old, has been chosen for the role of Severus Snape. This move, as you can imagine, is stirring a storm of emotions since it fundamentally changes the portrayal of one of the most vividly drawn characters created by J.K. Rowling, completely disregarding the meticulous details of the original description from the books. Millions of fans around the world have been left baffled and confused. Until recently, the series creators had promised to remain as true to the source material as even the films were, and now an unexpected and many believe misguided decision has been made. The entire Harry Potter fandom, and indeed all the residents of the United States, for whom this magical universe has long been an integral part of life, are literally gripped by excitement. Many fans have already reached out to J.K. Rowling, asking her to intervene and influence HBO, as they fear that such a decision could have far-reaching consequences for the series' future. Just think about it. Drawing a parallel with the fate of the Netflix series The Witcher, where author Andrzej Sapkowski essentially left everything to the producer's discretion, vividly demonstrates how risky it can be to stray from the original vision. Moreover, there are already whispers that other controversial characters might appear in the series, such as Professor Goggle or even a new Dumbledore, further complicating matters. In addition, reputable publications like Forbes are actively joining the discussion, even mentioning a Black Hermione Granger, an idea that, as experts have noted, is bound to spark cultural and social controversy. So let's dive into all the details of what's happening right now. Settle in, grab a cup of your favorite coffee, or perhaps tea, and read on. And if you enjoy our format, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Let's start with the most important and explosive piece of news. As reported by leading global media outlets, Papa As Edu has signed on for the role of Severus Snape, a character who was magnificently brought to life by the late Alan Rickman in the original films. This casting decision has ignited a storm of debates, not only among Harry Potter fans, but also beyond the fandom, touching on a myriad of issues ranging from fidelity to the source material to considerations of modern cultural and political contexts. In the coming minutes, we will attempt to examine all the arguments presented both online and in reputable publications and assess just how sound HBO's choice really is. The primary argument from the critics is first and foremost a complete disrespect for the original source. Severus Snape, when comparing this to the original works, one cannot help but recall how Alan Rickman, with great love and precision, embodied Severus Snape, becoming one of the most beloved actors in the history of Harry Potter. Rickman managed to convey not only the physical appearance, but also the inner essence of the character. His complex motives, ambiguities, and contradictions, which undoubtedly contributed to his iconic status. Now, HBO, by opting for an alternative vision, presumably one that leans towards modern Hollywood trends, has decided to introduce a radical change in the character's racial identity, prompting numerous questions. Many fans argue that this decision reflects the producer's desire to align with contemporary trends in inclusivity, yet history shows that such an approach often turns out to be ill-conceived and even dangerous when it comes to preserving the authenticity of the original work. A quick glance at fan comments reveals an array of pointed criticisms. For example, one black woman who grew up adoring Harry Potter shared her thoughts. "This isn't the casting we need. Please stop changing races solely for the sake of inclusivity." Such words resonate with many who believe that altering Severus Snape's race essentially changes the entire subtext of his story, raising questions about the subsequent narrative and the character's defining traits. Moreover, it isn't just ordinary fans who are voicing their discontent. Critics have also noted that if this decision is implemented without careful attention to detail, it could negatively impact the overall reception of the upcoming series. Interestingly, this situation also reminds us of another controversial project, the adaptation of The Witcher by Netflix. As it turned out, Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski practically left the fate of his series in the hands of the producers, leading to a project that received a plethora of negative reviews. Many critics point out that the failure to remain true to the original material was the primary reason for that project's downfall. Considering how fans discussed the fate of The Witcher, it's easy to see why many fear that a similar mistake might be repeated with Harry Potter. For American audiences, where diversity and inclusivity have always been central values, this decision raises additional questions. On one hand, modern society demands change and a fresh take on familiar narratives. Yet on the other hand, there is always the risk of losing touch with the roots and traditions that made the Harry Potter story so unique. Many believe that if HBO's producers attempt to please both sides, the end results may become contradictory and perplexing for the core audience. Of course, we understand that everyone has their own opinions, and we value hearing what you have to say. So if you have thoughts or comments, please share them below. Subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss out on further discussions. Now, let's move on to a more detailed analysis of the experts' opinions. One of the leading publications, Forbes, has outlined 5 key reasons why this casting decision is, to put it mildly, controversial. The first reason is that, to achieve even a semblance of Severus Snape's literary appearance, one would have to employ a multitude of special effects, makeup, and even cosmetic enhancements to capture that distinct pallor and the characteristic facial features. The second reason is that the books describe the character as a lean man with a large hooked nose, uneven yellow teeth, and greasy black hair reaching his shoulders. According to the article, such details cannot be effectively reproduced with modern technology without sacrificing authenticity and, more importantly, without altering the character's inner world. The third reason, as noted by analysts, is that changing Severus Snape's race does not merely alter his external appearance, it affects the entire dynamic of his relationships with other characters. Think about it. How would the interactions between Snape and James Potter, Lily Potter, and other characters change if the central figure were presented within a different racial context? Many critics argue that such a swap could not only distort the original concept, but also lead to cultural and social conflicts, especially in a diverse country like the United States. The fourth reason is that this approach might be seen as an attempt by the producers to cater to a specific group, thereby neglecting the overall narrative integrity and depth of character development. And finally, the fifth reason is an overarching sense that this decision could prove fatal for the future of the series. Numerous debates and disagreements have already surfaced regarding this choice. And as experts suggest, if the producers fail to strike a balance, the viewer base might end up completely disappointed. The internet and social media are currently flooded with discussions, memes, and videos on this subject. For example, on popular platforms such as Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook, You can find hundreds of posts where Harry Potter fans express their discontent, or conversely, support these changes. Some see this alteration as merely a reflection of modern trends in the entertainment industry, while others are convinced it violates the sacred canon upon which the magical world was built. It is important to note that these discussions are not limited to book enthusiasts alone. They also involve movie buffs, journalists, and even well-known personalities who do not hesitate to voice their opinions in blogs and interviews. If you haven't yet joined this discussion, we highly recommend you do so. Read, comment, and share your thoughts. We always welcome active participation from our viewers. Among those who support the changes is an argument that the entertainment industry must evolve along with society, and that new casting approaches help promote diversity. We understand that for some Americans, this is an important step forward, as the concept of inclusivity has long been a cornerstone of modern filmmaking. However, historical examples show that when attempts are made to alter a classic image, the result can be a complete failure, as seen with The Witcher and other projects, if these experiments are carried out without due respect for the original material. Another particularly intriguing aspect is the choice of actors for. Beyond the series itself, it is important to note that these controversies extend beyond just the realm of film and television. They touch on a broad range of issues, from cultural traditions to questions of identity and self-expression. In the United States, where topics of multiculturalism and openness to new ideas are always on the agenda, such changes can be perceived in various ways. Some critics argue that altering a character's race is merely an attempt by the producers to appease a narrow segment of progressive viewers, while the majority of fans remain staunch defenders of the original story. This situation raises serious concerns because if a balance between innovation and respect for the source material is not maintained, the project risks losing both new and longtime fans. We also cannot ignore the influence of social media on the current situation. Today, everyone can share their opinions online, and that undoubtedly enriches public discourse. However, there is also a downside. Due to an overload of information, many viewers become disoriented and lose trust in official news sources. Therefore, we urge all our viewers to keep a close eye on updates, participate in discussions, and most importantly, share your thoughts and comments. If you enjoy our format, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss the latest news. Returning to the topic, it is worth noting that despite all the controversies and disagreements, many experts believe that the debates surrounding the casting of Severus Snape are just the beginning of a broader conversation about how best to adapt such a legendary universe for modern television. In the coming months, we will undoubtedly see many more statements, analytical articles, and even interviews with HBO representatives trying to explain why this decision was made. Perhaps, in the end, a golden mean between innovation and tradition will be found that satisfies both new viewers and longtime fans. It is also interesting that amid all this news, there have been some positive responses from those who see these changes as an opportunity to rethink and modernize a classic story. Some fans argue that if the producers manage to maintain balance and respect for the original material, the new interpretations could add a refreshing and timely twist to the beloved Harry Potter universe. Such opinions find support particularly among younger viewers who have grown up in an era of social change and value diversity in every aspect. Yet, the question remains: how far can one experiment with a classic without losing its soul? Beyond the casting discussion itself, this incident has sparked broader debates about the future of adaptations of classic works. Today, as streaming services and major television networks actively seek new formats and approaches to adapting famous books, the question of how closely one should adhere to the original material is becoming increasingly relevant. It can be confidently stated that in the near future we will witness many more experiments, and perhaps each new adaptation will evoke not only admiration, but also heated debates. For those living in the United States, where multiculturalism and openness to new ideas are cherished values, this issue is particularly resonant. After all, here, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and it is precisely this diversity of views that helps create truly compelling projects. However, no matter how things turn out, it is always important to remember the roots of the story and that a classic does not tolerate arbitrary experiments. We are convinced that true Harry Potter fans will always stand by their opinions, because for them this story is not merely a collection of books or films, but an entire universe into which years of work and J.K. Rowling's immense love have been poured. If you share our thoughts, if you care about the fate of this legendary story, please leave your comments. We truly want to know what you think about these changes, and we would be delighted if you told your friends about this discussion. Subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and let's watch together as the future of the series unfolds. Your opinion matters to us, and we are confident that together we can make this dialogue even more interesting and rich. By the way, if you are interested not only in Harry Potter news but also in other cultural phenomena, be sure to follow our updates. We regularly publish analytical materials on how modern trends influence the classics, discuss current issues of inclusivity. It is also worth noting that modern technology and the internet open up new opportunities for analyzing and discussing such news. On forums, in blogs, and on video platforms, you can see how different viewpoints merge into a collective discussion. This is truly an exciting time when every voice counts, and the culture of dialogue becomes the main trend. Only through open communication can we find the truth and reach a compromise that satisfies all parties. Do not forget that your opinion is powerful, and if you believe that the approach to adapting classic works should be reconsidered, feel free to speak out. Leave your comments, participate in polls and discussions, and share links to interesting articles and analytical reviews. It is in this way that we can collectively influence the future of the stories we love. If you enjoy our content, hit the like button and subscribe. This way, you will never miss important news and fresh opinions. In conclusion, it must be said that the current controversies surrounding the casting of Severus Snape are just one chapter in the long story of changes taking place in the world of adaptations. We live in an era where tradition clashes with innovation, and every new decision sparks a whirlwind of emotions. Perhaps, in time, we will see these experiments lead to an entirely new perspective on the classics. Or perhaps we will return to the roots where the value of the original was paramount. Whatever the outcome, we will continue to monitor all updates and keep you informed of the latest news. Dear friends, thank you for staying with us and participating in this important discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share this material with your friends and loved ones. Your active participation helps us make our content better and more engaging for everyone. See you soon, and stay tuned. There are many more exciting stories and analytical reviews ahead that we will undoubtedly discuss together. Thank you for being with us, and until next time,